Speaking of Napheesa Collier, let's talk about the last series here, the Mercury Lynx. This is a 2-7 matchup between the Phoenix Mercury and the Minnesota Lynx. Their game two is later today, but game one was the most interesting game of the night on Sunday. I mean, what a show. Minnesota went up, I think they were up like 23-26 at one point, and then they were kind of holding steady at like 18. And then in the second half, the Mercury were just chipping and chipping and chipping away at that lead. And they actually took a lead late in the fourth quarter. After a first half, boat racing, I thought with Minnesota. I think that even when in the first half the Mercury were trying to like hold on or chip into the league or the lead of the Lynx, it was layups and threes for Minnesota versus mid-range shots for the Mercury. And then that was really in large part because the Lynx were getting steals, deflections, getting out and running, and really like ran up the score by just getting out in transition. Napheesa Collier looked incredibly comfortable throughout this game. I think people have talked about the Lynx having size issues sometimes, and but Napheesa Collier uh, looked like the biggest player out there because she just looked comfortable with whoever was on her. Even when it was a bigger player, like she could outquick them to get to her shot. Just such a versatile shot creator. Do you have anything to say about her particular performance in this game, or how Minnesota was able to gut out a win after blowing such a massive lead?
Well, I think the thing with Minnesota is they put so much pressure on you with their offense, with their movement, with their cutting. They have five players they believe in who can drive, pass, and shoot. So they're always going to make you sustain defense. You saw that in the
Mhm.
first half. The Mercury didn't have any fun. Like the Lynx kept them moving. White jerseys had to keep rotating. They tried to play zone. White jerseys had to keep rotating, and that's just what the Lynx do. I think with Napheesa Collier, what makes it so tough is there's no one thing you can take away from her because of how the offense functions. She might grab a rebound and push it herself. Now she gets a screen, and now it's a rescreen. She rolls to an empty side. Now she's slicing off a cut into a post up. She's a really good cutter on the weak side, so she cuts back door if you help. Different things that they can use her in makes it really tough. And in this series in particular, with the Mercury having to switch, you end up with Napheesa Collier having some matchups that she enjoys,
Yeah.
and that just makes it overall a tough recipe. I think the thing for Phoenix that they did well in game one was finding a way to have more activity in that second half, finding a way to kind of slow the Lynx down just a little bit, get them to look at something for an extra second or
So you have to
speed them
keep
up
your
a little bit. That's the key. I think Phoenix,
Mhm.
for them to win, it's going to take bucket getting. Like they're going to need Diana Taurasi, they're going to need Codd, they need Tasha Cloud. They have to find a way to score. They did that. Unfortunately, the defense, they didn't have enough of it because of how Minnesota functions.
Yeah.
I think what Phoenix kind of did there in that second half was got the ball downhill. Let's go guard screens. Let's see if you guys want to switch. Your defense is very good, but how many times do you experience this? Okay, oh, you didn't switch cleanly. We can drive, turn the corner, for some help, get some threes, mix in some of these pull-ups, and we can kind of battle our way back. It'll be interesting to see what game two looks like. Because again,
Yeah.
Minnesota may be more prepared for this. So was that just Phoenix's shot? Or is it something they can build on?
Yeah. I mean, do you have any predictions for game two?
I think the Lynx win another hard fought battle
Okay.
because I've maintained through the ups and downs the Phoenix Mercury not a team you want to see in the playoffs. They showcased that at least in the second half. It's just going to be can they generate enough on both ends? Because when they have the good offensive moments, feels like the defense goes the other way. When they have the good defense, feels like the offense goes the other way. There's like 6 times where they were like down by one and they couldn't get over the hump. They finally did, then they gave it back, and it's just okay. It's
Yeah.
a tough recipe to deal with for Phoenix.
Yeah. So, assuming perhaps wrongly that Minnesota clinches the series tonight, would they rather face the Fever or the Sun in round two?
For me, I think they would much rather face the Indiana Fever. I mean, no disrespect with that. I think with the Fever, they feel like they can move the ball and force them to guard in a different way. Connecticut's just not a fun team to play. Even though they did just beat the Connecticut Sun, I think it was a 2-point win. That's just not ideal. You're going to end up being in the 70s. It's going to be a gross game, and I think they would prefer the Fever.
Yeah, I think I agree. Also, the Sun could take advantage of their rebounding woes, uh, just as a matchup specific issue. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, hit the notification bell, and always remember that winning is fun and losing sucks.